us this day our daily bread. Forgive our trespasses, and we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And for thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Amen. I'm Awakened Saint Mike, your host. I'm going to read Isaiah 11:6, and then we'll get started this evening. Isaiah 11:6. The lion shall lie down with the lamb, and the bear shall eat grass like the ox. And the child shall play on the hole of the asp, and nothing shall hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain. That's the prophecy, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. There's no wolf. That's not true. And I've yet to been challenged on that one. No one wants to challenge me on that one. Welcome, everyone. We have a few things to talk about. When I say we, I mean me, because you don't know what I'm going to say till I say it. But, you know, I'm here talking to myself. But you guys are listening, I think. I had one of those epiphany things, an epiphany. I'm just looking over on Rumble real quick to see if I'm broadcasting. I am. Okay. I'm broadcasting simulcast Rumble and YouTube. I have links for Rumble in the description, and I have a sign-in link that you can, a call-in link for StreamYard for later if we have time. So I was thinking about the moon deal, and I had an epiphany. One of those things where, you know how the moon is cresting in the Cheshire smile thing. And I said, when this happens, I say, this means something. When I say that, I know eventually God will show me in some way what it is. I just know. I trust in Him, and it's always worked that way. My relationship with God, you know, Yahuwah, that God, because God can mean anything. I'm talking about the Father of Jesus, if you guys are wondering what God I'm talking about. I knew it would be revealed, and it was revealed. So I'm going to share what I came up with you, and I believe it's God inspired. I believe He drove me there. You know, if I'm wrong, I'll call myself out on it. I was wrong, I'd say in the beginning of this. So let's bring out the wrongs. I was so I guess trigger happy with the Kirk stuff, with the Kirk Charlie Kirk stuff. I presented the Erica Kirk video with her sticking her tongue out thing, and it turns out that was a fake video. As far as the tongue never came out, that was CGI, and I proved it with my own software. So the minute I venture off of my own protocols, I get caught up in something fake. So I immediately called myself out on it as soon as I figured it out, and I do apologize. And I can tell you this evening, everything I show you has been vetted completely. I'm not just shooting from the hip with this stuff this evening. We are going to talk about, there were major flooding in Alaska that just recently happened. I believe it was October 13th, just a few days ago. The moon phases, of course, that's what I'm advertising for this evening. Why is the moon doing what it's doing, and what phases should actually be in the moon? And then the Eyes Open podcast channel, Elias messaged me, and he interviewed Dr. Kent Hovind not too long ago. Hopefully you guys can catch that. Go over to his channel on YouTube and catch that interview. He has most of his subscribers on Facebook, so you can also check him out on Facebook. But there was a few things in that interview that I want to point out that I disagree with. And this isn't me sharpshooting Elias at all. He messaged me and said, hey, there's some work to do. And I looked at it, and yeah, I agree with him. So there's subcategories within that. I'm going to talk about the moon again. I'm going to talk about flat earth within that. And I have some total proof that the earth's flat that I'm going to show you. And I'm going to talk about the rapture, which I don't know if me and Elias see eye to eye on how the rapture goes down, but I'm going to tell you where I sit on that. And of course, with the rapture, the little season has to be brought up, because little season people believe that all that stuff's already happened. So momentarily I'll give them like a little shout out with that, but then I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen with the rapture. So that's the plan for what we're doing. Let me get comfortable here, because there's a lot to cover. If I have time, I will allow somebody to call in and talk to me. Jake TV did it again. I have a video before I show you the moon phases. I'm going to show you the Alaska stuff first. And then before I show you the moon phases, Jake TV wrapped up the Charlie Kirk thing, and it is a, it's a fun one. So, he's a funny dude. So I'm going to show it. So first of all, did you guys know that, let me find my picture of this thing. Did you guys even know this happened? Most of you probably didn't. If you're not turning your TV on, then you wouldn't know. But it's on the TV, it's on the television a little bit, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot was mentioned. First thing I noticed was, the government, the U.S. government has this shutdown thing happening, and there's all this stuff on Facebook and Reels and stuff saying, well, the skies are blue now, and they're not doing weather manipulation because the government is shut down. The weather manipulation is a one world government program. It has nothing to do with the U.S. government shutting down or not being shut down. And this is what this happened in October 13th, just 5 days ago. I mean, today's October 18th. And I have a before picture and an after picture. That's Kipnuk, Alaska. Before and after picture. That's presented by the AP and also through the Alaska National Guard. I have a contact in the Alaska National Guard, and he also flies for Alaska Airlines. Very first thing I did is I contacted my contact and I said, "Hey, man, is this stuff really happening in Alaska?" I always do that, guys. I don't just look at the news and then say, this is 100% going on. You know what I mean? So I verified it is going on, and then I received this picture through him, but it's also AP released, so you guys can get this picture. I'm going to show you some stuff you can't get because I have on the scene footage. Because I have people in Alaska. If you didn't know about me, when I retired from the Army, my last assignment was Fort Wainwright, Alaska. Therefore, I do have pretty good contacts that are still up there and people that still live there. Definitely pray for these people. These are indigenous Kipnuk. Kipnuk is a tribe. If you guys didn't know, there's Alaska natives that have always been there. They speak English as their second language. They are Americans. We do go and help them. I'm going to get rid of this picture because I'm going to show you first. Unfortunately, I have to show you the Fox News report. It's local Fox News in Alaska, but that gives you the whole wrap up of what actually happened there. And then I'm going to show you on the scene footage that was sent directly to me from my National Guard contact. So you can see on the ground what it looks like there. And it's pretty horrible. So where I sit with this is I never want to discount, weather in unusual places as a prophecy, but I'm really leaning towards this is man-made weather. So it is still happening. Oh, and the reason why I forgot to mention this, which is highly needing to be mentioned. The typhoon, it was a typhoon that hit Alaska. The typhoon that hit Alaska was the first time in the history of this earth that we stand on that has ever happened. The weather, the way it's set up on this beautiful flat plain that we live on, typhoons can't go that far north. They just can't. They have to be steered into that direction. And you'll see in this Fox News report, it kind of looks like it steers in that direction. So I'm playing the Fox News thing just for you people at Google. This is for educational purposes only, and I am allowed to play news skits to show my point of view. And this is public released Fox News stuff. I'm not monetized. Boy, they sure know that, so they can't get me for that. All right, so check this news report out so you can get the wrap up, and then I'll show you some on-the-scene footage.
Disastrous floods from the remnants of Typhoon Halong have left one person dead in the state of Alaska. 51 people and 2 dogs were also rescued after devastating floods swept through some of the coastal villages on the western part of the state, just off of the Bering Sea. 10 feet of water rose in about 4 hours at Kipnuk River on Sunday, and you can see all of the damage caused by these record-setting floods in this drone footage. Let's talk more about what happened and how it all came about. Was also watching some reports out of Alaska on social media and other outlets. Man, there were homes that were picked up and were floating down the river and just not where they belonged. Here's a look at Super Typhoon Halong. It was massive. And when you talk about Super Typhoon, some of the winds were up at 156 miles per hour. When you think about a United States hurricane, same thing, just different name, you're talking 156, that's top end category 4. You get to 157, you're a Cat 5. So it was right there on the verge of becoming Cat 5. It was massive, moved right along the coast of Japan. The steering mechanisms, we always talk about that, played huge on this. In fact, we had a huge dip in the jet, helped to pick the storm up, and guess where it took it? Well, here's the dip in the jet. It took remnants of this after it had a short life as a tropical storm right into.
So pause that right there. So that lets you know there are steering mechanisms located in Asia, Russia proper. So this is a world thing. It's a worldwide manipulation of weather. It's not one country. It's a one world government. It's not just us. I ran into the same thing during COVID. Everybody's like, it has to do with American elections. I was traveling the world during the time the whole world was doing it. We're going to get to that and what that's about, but I digress.
to the Bering Sea, slamming the west coast of Alaska, skipping over the Aleutian Islands. And now they're actually dealing with another storm, not this type of storm, but they're going to get some rain from this. That storm is going to go to the south. We highlight this as we look at the enhanced satellite going back to the 8th through the 12th. There's Japan. You can see the well-defined eye holding steady. Here comes the jet. You can see the jet just up to the north, right about there, starts to pick this up. The remnants that are left of it, the moisture, because it doesn't just disappear, move over the Aleutians and then right into Kipnik.
Hey, see, that thing came off of Japan. If you guys have any knowledge of how maps work and how the world actually looks, how huge of a change that the steering of the storm, that's almost impossible. It can't naturally happen. It was either divine done, or undivine, evil done. One or the other. It wasn't naturally. The earth is not set up naturally for that to happen. That storm turned 90 degrees and headed 360. That's north if you don't read compasses, and went straight up. That is impossible. Does not happen.
That area and many of these villages here facing the western side, on the western side of Alaska, saw the water rise fast and furious in a short period of time. The Kipnik at the tide gauge, when we're looking at this, it had a record. It rose, look at this, 10 feet in 4 hours. That was it. And a lot of people were actually asleep when this happened. So a lot of people were actually sleeping. The record, by the way, was 13 feet. This all happened quickly in a short period of time. Other areas that saw not only the flooding waters and the rivers going up, but some very strong winds. These winds slamming the island either from the south or portions of the south and southwest, 78 to 100 miles per hour. So not only were they dealing with some very, very rough conditions with the rain and the flooding, but Britta, those winds were coming down hard and the water was just choppy. If you see these images coming through, it was nonstop. So we think about Alaska as they go to rebuild. They will get some rain in the coming day from another system, just a regular system. That one is moving to the south of the Aleutian Islands, though, but they will get a little bit of rain in the coming day.
All right, so that is the official news report. And I glanced in the chat room and I saw somebody said, what do you think the purpose of it is, or what do they gain from it? There's theories, obviously the 15-minute city stuff. From my experience of being in Alaska, those small villages are 200% high value Christian targets. They all have extreme faith. Yes, they're native, but they're Christian. So that's another reason why I can't buy into Christians don't have tribulation. These people lost their entire village overnight. You don't think that's very tribulating? That's extremely violent and bad. I'll show you some on the scene footage now. This is just so you know, fair warning, this is real. I didn't show anybody getting hurt. I'm not showing the videos of injured. I received some injury videos and stuff. I'm not going to show you guys that stuff. You don't need to see that. If you want to see it and you think you need to see it, then you need to subscribe to a different channel. But this will give you an idea of what it looked like, because this footage here came from soon after it happened. And then I have the next morning. I'll show you both. All right, so that was as soon as the storm passed and people woke up and realized that their village was gone. They're out looking for survivors, and they find some stuff, okay? And I'm not showing you that, but they do find some stuff. And this next one, I believe this is the morning after, and this is filmed from somebody's back porch. There's still people living there, believe it or not. And there's no 33s in this one. I looked, so it really happened. Like, this is a real deal.
that's it. Now they do have starting. That was the window trying to break.
And you might think that that's gibberish from the children, and it's not. They're speaking a native tribal tongue. They're actually saying words that mean something. At first, I thought it was just, I thought it was kids just saying like, just little children talk, but they were saying things in reference to what they were looking at. Very horrible, guys. I don't have any like donation thing set up or anything like that, and if I do, I'll let you guys know. I'll put it in a post. If that happens, I'll let you guys know. As far as I know, there isn't anything like that right now. I keep muting my mic because I want to burp for some reason. So I will let you guys know that. But you guys that are into prayer, pray hard for those people, because there is one dead for sure. 51 missing, I believe, is the real number. And out of the 51 missing, that water, that's Alaska. The water, even in summer, will kill you if you're in the water for just a few minutes. I know, I was stationed up there. In the summertime, you try to go swimming in any water, it's horrible. It's always cold. So the missing are they're probably not with us. And the families, so there's families looking for them. There's several people in that village are waiting for the water to go down, and then they're going to rebuild. So just have them in your hearts and prayers. If there is anything we can do to help, I will let you guys know the second I find out. Now, I'm going to try with all of that, I'm going to try to raise the mood. And you can easily raise the mood with Jake TV. So Jake TV covered the Charlie Kirk assassination, and I found it very funny. So I'm going to play that, and then we'll get into this Cheshire Moon thing.
To FBI for more. Get in, Tyler.
Yeah.
We're taking you to Dairy Queen. Great job, kid.
Okay, from now on, you just do what we say. Now go get your Dairy Queen. It still hasn't been 33 hours.
As we wait for the 33 hours, the FBI is hard at work coming up with a solid script to present to the public. How do we get away with this?
I got it. Let's just ask ChatGPT to generate us a story of young gay lovers from the 20s.
Genius.
When you're talking about things like going out to a crime scene, that's how you investigate that matter properly. And when you're talking about why did it take 33 hours, all of that is being triaged by the FBI, because that's what we do.
We trusted you with the Epstein files. We definitely can trust you with this.
Right. Trust your government. Noticing is antiseptic, right, John?
That's right. I think we might have found our suspect texting his furry lover. We're just waiting for him to confess.
Ugh, fine, but nobody my age sounds like that.
Shut up, Tyler, and send it.
Good thing they're rigorously pushing for a confession. It's like, let's get this over with, right?
Conspiracy theorists will believe anything these days, and this just in, we have footage of Tyler on the roof. Okay, here he is after disassembling the rifle to fit it in his pants, and now he doesn't have a shadow. Shapiro Steen, explain what we're seeing here.
Just because his shadow disappeared and our donors offered $1.5 million to find the killer doesn't mean we did it. But yes, he questioned too much. That's why we got rid of him.
We'll just say he reassembled it.
33 hours, 2 hours after the video footage was enhanced and released, and the suspect's father turned him in.
Seems like they could just show the actual footage of him taking the shot instead of that edited video, and all these conspiracy theories go away. Do they think we're retarded or something?
Hell yeah, Ching Chong, that's based. I mean, at least show the video of the lavalier exploding or the Israeli Schaefer security company retrieving the weapon.
Shut it down, John. Let's not forget what happened to Jackie when she noticed. Now, make the dad MAGA and have him call it in now.
Are you ready to confess?
He admitted it, okay? Now, when do I get the $1.5 million?
Well, hope he gets his ransom money, right?
Well, it's officially been 33 hours.
Oh, how exciting.
Let's hear Cash thank the Viking pagan gods.
Charlie would love that.
To my friend Charlie Kirk. Rest now, brother. We have the watch. And I'll see you in Valhalla.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
Forgive Tyler, for we know it was him, and there's nothing more to see here.
Good call, Erica.
Good call, Erica. All right, so that should lighten the mood a little bit. Yes, saw in the chat room, some people would probably think that's real, and that is, man, that was close to like the official stories in there. I like how they say It's not quite 33 hours yet. We got to have that 33 in there. So Jake TV gets it. Okay, so Cheshire Moon. All right. I'm gonna play the video done. Man, I can't remember the YouTube channel's name that did this video. I'm gonna look in the background, see if I can find his channel name, because he deserves credit for doing it. I know I'm subscribed to him. He said I could use it a while ago. I did not ask him again, but he asked me, or he said I could use it a while ago when I used it the first time I used it. And what is this channel's name? I know he was with he went on Scare Performance channel a lot back when Scare Performance. Oh, Hazel Fiverr. Yeah. So Hazel Fiverr made a video about the Cheshire Moon because the Mandela Effect community has identified it as a Mandela Effect. So anything, with that community, anything that's out of the ordinary that doesn't link in with our current reality is labeled a Mandela Effect. Maybe it is. It's definitely a change of reality. I believe it's a sign in the sky from God, and I'm going to get to that. But I'm going to play Hazel Fiverr's video that he created to cover the Cheshire Moon. And then I'm going to talk about the observations that we've had on this moon. And then I'm going to tell you the epiphany at the very end of why I'm even bringing it up again. Because I'm not bringing it up again because it's just neat. I believe this definitely means something. And as I go more and more deeper into this stuff, it's not aligning with you little season people. So that's going to be a little bit of a, there's a little bit of a problem there. We have to figure that out, right? So check out the Hazel Fiverr video on Cheshire Moon.
Oh, thank you very much.
Of course you know he's mad.
But I don't want to go among mad people.
Oh, my dear child, you can't help that. We're all mad here. Everybody's mad. You might have noticed that I am not quite myself.
All right, Hazel Fiverr makes pretty good videos. That's his video on it. I I will show you. Yeah, that smiley face and stuff. I guess Sun didn't like that. That's a hazel fiber thing. He likes to do that in his videos. So I'm going to show you. I forgot to load this. I have to talk as I'm loading something in the background. I have a picture that I'm going to show you. I noticed this right here when I was in Saudi Arabia. For you guys that aren't tracking me, when I retired from the military, 2021, I worked in Saudi Arabia, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia mostly, but I was in Riyadh too, and I flew around that whole country. You know, I was in all types of places flying the S-92, and I saw this symbol. A lot of them in Jeddah. There's monuments like this, and I saw this symbol in Riyadh, and it's around the mosque and those type of things. So I asked my Muslim friends there, you know, they're all Muslim. So if you have a friend there, they're Muslim. And I asked the Saudi Arabian friend of mine, I said, what does that mean? What is that, a star in a bowl, you know? Because I didn't think moon. The moon doesn't go like that. So he said, that's a crescent moon that when the crescent moon turns 90 degrees and a star appears, that's the sign of the evil one coming to control the world. So if you didn't know this, the Muslims have copied the Holy Bible. Their story is 500 years newer than ours. And I mean, it wreaks havoc with a lot of these guys with all the different beliefs on what our Bible even says. But they copied our story. And we have an antichrist. They have like an anti-imam. And for them, Jesus is a prophet that returns to fight off the anti-imam. So Jesus returns for them too. And this symbol is all over their stuff everywhere. The first thing I said when I saw this, believe it or not, it was 2021. I think it was 2021. Is that when it was? I believe it was. I made a video when I first saw it actually do it. And I made that video in Saudi Arabia, and I'm going to play that next. So when I heard the story, I said, well, that's ridiculous. The moon physically can't turn to a smiley face. So you guys are going to be waiting an awful long time to see that. And then how does a star appear in the middle of it? You know, so that would be, I took it as just weird Muslim folklore. Well, guess what, guys? We see it. We see it as a smiley face every now and then right now. So starting to do it. This is the video I took in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. The moon is cresting horizontally, not vertically. Try to get some kind of reference here. You can see it's too dark. It was 2018. Refer to it, so you know I'm not turning the moon. Try to find it here again for you. And there it is. So there's your moon horizontally. The reason why I was scanning around is I was trying to find a reference because at the time it was such a new thing. I thought people would accuse me of turning the video sideways and faking it. So I was trying to find like a building or something, and then I couldn't get both into a frame. This is the picture the solid picture I took right here. So that's actually from my camera. This was the one sent in to me that I used as a post for this live stream. This picture was taken in Jersey, New Jersey. My contact out there in New Jersey sent this to me. This one was sent out on the West Coast, same day, same exact day. And this one was sent out in the Georgia area, same day. So that's 3 different people confirming that it's there. And then the very next day, it wasn't there anymore. How is that possible? Here's the moon phases. Here's what they are. They phase out through multiple days. They don't come and go. So when the moon starts at a certain phase on the 1st, as you can see in the very upper left, you scroll to the right, 3rd, 5th, 7th, 8th, and then it goes to full moon, then it comes back off again. And then, so you can actually set your watch to this. It does not open and close, or it does not Cheshire and then the next day it's gone. It doesn't do that, but it does now. It does. It certainly does now. Absolutely does. Well, I'm gonna get to what I think it is, and then I'm gonna show you some eclipse stuff that's awful odd, and that was kind of revealed to me. Kind of figured it out, and it was revealed to me at the same time. What do I think is going on? So I took the knowledge of the story the Muslim gave me, and then I applied my Christian knowledge to it because I'm a Christian and I believe Jesus is returning eventually, sooner than later, apparently. And I thought, why the moon? What kind of sign does that mean? And then I remembered the name Lucifer. Lucifer is a rough translation. That's not his real name. Did you guys know that? I never really emphasized his name because it's not important to say the enemy's name. It isn't. It's not important to say it correctly. I could give a crap how you say his name. However, to understand this, you have to understand his actual name. He is a fallen angel. Everything that came from heaven has an L. Elohim. There's Elohims, right? Michael, Raphael. So how is Lucifer not Lucifer L? His actual name is Hel, He''E''El. That's his actual name, Hel. That's his name. Why is that important? Well, Hel means crescent moon. Yes. Pause for effect, right? It means crescent moon. Hel, the meaning of his name is crescent moon. So the Muslims are waiting for a crescent moon with a star, a fallen star, and there you go. And we're seeing it. We're seeing this sign in the skies. What does it mean for how much time is left? I don't know. What does it mean? It means we're on our way for sure. It's not. There's no way I believe it to be some Project Bluebeam thing. It's definitely in the sky everywhere. I mean, that would be a huge, huge event because I was seeing it in Saudi Arabia too. I believe it's a true sign in the sky. So that's where I am with it. And I believe that was important enough to bring up on a live stream. And here I am. And I'm going to show you the eclipses from this moon.
Apparently,
check this video out here.
Due to the solar eclipse. This is Texas. So people in Texas, I need you guys to confirm. Look what the eclipse has done.
Is the eclipse making them look like that?
This is fascinating.
See, that's the kind of.
So I'm gonna mute him because I'm more fascinating. No, it's my live stream, so I'm muting this guy. But these shadows coming from the eclipse, the moon, are casting triple, quadruple shadows. You see each shadow is like five or six shadows. You see that? And I'm going to go all the way to the end. I'm going to tell you what it is. And you're either going to believe it or you're not going to believe it. But I'm going to tell you what this is. I found out what it is. And it's being presented to us from the mainstream as an oddity because we don't get the esoteric education that the 1%ers that control the world, they all know exactly what it is. You know that? They know exactly what this is. And we're like, oh, it's so mystical. Why is it doing that? Here's another one here.
2023 eclipse.
Some Twilight Zone music for you as they show it. See how Twilight is? It's Twilight Zone-y because it's scary. Because we didn't learn it in first grade like the 1%ers did. Not scary at all if you're educated.
The sun coming through the trees. Look how weird it looks on the ground. It looks like somebody drew. It looks like just somebody drew on it. It's those trees right there. That is.
Well, Martino Berto gets a gold star. So the firmament is made in multiple layers. There's multiple, like 7 layers, and this is all biblical. It's an extra biblical text that tell us exactly how the firmament is created. And when you have a light shine through it, you get multiple shadows. It's like a mirror facing a mirror. Have you ever done that? And then you see a mirror inside of a mirror inside of a mirror inside of a mirror. It goes like that. Well, you have a moon that is, it's being blocked, but at the same time, guess what? The moon produces its own light. So when it's being blocked but produces its own light, it causes this weird shadow effect. And I have a video somewhere of the moon. Here it is. So the moon, oh, we got one more of the shade thing. Let's show you this one real quick.
Miren este efecto de la sombra de las hojas del árbol con el eclipse. Wow, es algo loco, loquísimo. Wow.
So if you didn't get what he's saying, loco, he was saying this is very crazy and unbelievable. All right, so here is a mild proof. I should have took the time to edit that weird music stuff out. I don't know why people do that. It's not necessary. So the moon does produce its own light. I believe we're seeing a sign in the sky. I think the Mandela effect itself is a sign. I believe it's Amos chapter 8, 11, and 12 playing out in the signs in the sky. I mean, it's all part of one big thing. That being said, I'm at 43 minutes, so I'm going to just keep tracking on because I have more things to talk about. So Eyes Open Podcast did an interview with Dr. Kent Hovind. I don't know if you know him. He's a pretty popular guy. I'll just go ahead and say it. So yeah, Elias, who is Open Eyes podcast host, he said he's not even a doctor, which I don't have proof of him being a doctor or not a doctor. So that may be a thing. And I believe him and I are going to do a recording, and he's going to put it on his channel of our opinions on this. But I want you guys, my viewers, to know my opinion of it. And a lot of these topics go hand in hand with what I'm talking about this evening. So I'm going to go ahead and bring them up. Some are easier than others. So Mr. Kent, or Dr. Kent, believes in dinosaurs. And I've covered this probably 3 years ago, the hoax of the dinosaur. Dinosaurs were never really here presented the way we think them to be. There were dragons on this land. The Bible talks about dragons and always have, and serpents, large serpents, but it's never mentioned dinosaurs at all. You have to twist scripture to come up with dinosaurs. So me and Mr. Kent don't believe in the same thing there. I believe dinosaurs to be a giant hoax done by the Smithsonian, and I've covered it. It's where they ground up chicken bones and put them in molds and make like those big bone structures you see when you go to the museum. Those are fake. Those are created. So the moon giving its own light. He asked Kent directly, do you think the moon gives its own light? The Bible even states the moon gives its own light. I just showed you a video of the moon giving its own light. Also, you can do this yourself. This is science. So if I tell you something and then you can do it yourself, you can prove it to be true. That's how science works. I'm telling you the moon gives its own light. So if you have any laser thermometer where you can point at something to get a temperature, next time there's a full moon, go outside, point your laser to an area that's not in the shade, and then point your laser to a shaded area. You'll notice that the shaded area at night is warmer, proving that the moon is casting a cold light. You get what I'm saying? Take the temperature of the moonlight, cast it on your yard or whatever you want. Some kind of barrier works better if you have like a plastic toy or something, if you have kids or whatever. Take a temperature of that, have an equal the same thing in a shadow. Like if your kid has a bike out there, if there's 2 bikes, put one in the shadow, leave one out of the shadow. let it sit and stabilize, take a temperature of the bike in the moonlight, then immediately take another temperature of the bike in the shadow. And then I suggest you wait 30 minutes to an hour and do it again to prove that it's real. And you'll see the moon is quite colder. And I remember that from when I was an enlisted fellow, when I first joined the Army. We would be out in the woods and the moon would come out. And I remember when I was outside of shadows, it was uncomfortable. And I never put 1 and 1 together and got 2 back then. But I do remember the moon light being very cold. So the moon does give its own light, and it's a cold light. So Dr. Kent's getting that one wrong. Flat Earth, he says that the flat Earth is a thing created by the atheists to make Christians look stupid. That was Dr. Kent's answer to that. I'm going to show you a picture that I took from my helicopter while flying, and I forgot to post it in my standby, but I'm going to get it as I'm talking. I'm going to grab it in the background here. Where did I put those pictures? I have those pictures somewhere because I took pictures from my helicopter. Where did they go? That's not good because I have really nice pictures to show you here. What did I do with them? Oh, here they are. Whew, that was scary. I thought I lost my pictures. Okay, found the pictures. Right. And when I'm done talking, I'm going to look in the chat room and see what you guys have to say. So this picture here and this picture here, I took from my helicopter. I'm flying right now. I'm in the left seat. That's my picture I took. Here's the picture from the distance. Here's as we get closer. The distance as we get closer. So I started to mention this when I had Elias on the channel, and then I kind of ventured off of forgetting what the math was. I think it's called the Pythagorean theorem. I'm saying it wrong, but it's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. You learned it in high school if you remember it, and it does work. So I noticed what I decided to do is use that mathematical equation because I was like, wait a minute, I have a camera, so I can prove I'm seeing this. In my helicopter, I have radar and measuring equipment. When I get to this light, as you see the picture you're looking at right now, which is straight up and down, when I get to that straight up and down light, I can measure the light at the surface of the water and what the distance is from that surface of the water from where that light is, where that light touches the cloud. I can measure that. So I will know that distance. And then I can take the measurement of me flying from one of those light spots to one of those angled spots. And then I take the distance, a squared plus b squared will equal c squared, and it'll let me know how far away the sun is, right? So the sun, what I came up with is it's 55 miles away. That was the answer. And this particular day, from me, the sun was 55 miles up. That's literally the math I came up with. And I checked it several times, and I had other people check my math that didn't know what we were doing with the math, because I didn't say, hey, I'm trying to prove the earth is flat. I didn't say that. I just said, hey, dude, I have this math here. Will you make sure my number's right? I'm coming up with 55 miles. What do you get? And he's like, yeah, Mike, that's 55 miles. Like, all right. So that right there is very, very, very strong evidence that the earth is flat. Because if the sun, I think the sun's supposed to be millions of miles away, it definitely wouldn't angle the light like that. You see how the light is angled as it's coming from a light that's not that far away? I mean, right there's proof. Look at that. Look at that right there. And I'm not even talking about distances. Like the lights in the curved lights in this picture, the curved lights in the distance are so far away, the water should be covering them. I shouldn't see them because the earth would be a ball and I wouldn't be able to see it. You get what I'm saying? So that right there kind of shows you that the earth isn't a ball either. So Dr. Kent gets that wrong. And do I look like a lunatic? I used math. I don't think that makes me a lunatic at all. The rapture thing. So he brought up rapture. And he said, I'm just trying to remember what he said. I don't know when he says the rapture is, but I'm going to tell you when I think the rapture is, and I'm going to tell you why. I believe the rapture happens at the last trumpet. And the reason why So we have prophecy has 7 seals. The 7th seal, the trumpets blow. So when the 7th seal is opened up, there's silence in heaven for 30 minutes. And then the first trumpet blows. So I believe us as Christians, we're here for all those trumpets. Now, how they affect us directly, I don't know. That could be up for debate. And I think we may have enough. It may happen soon enough that we can all just sit around and find out for sure. But I don't think we're just going to disappear and not experience those. The bowls of wrath are not for us. We leave at the last trump. So we do leave. When the bowls of wrath start coming out, we're not going to experience those. That's another thing. Dr. Kent says vials of wrath. That's a Mandela effect. The Bible always said bowls. And if you don't remember it saying bowls, you don't have his word written on your heart, because it's bowls of wrath, not vials of wrath. And I'm going to get to why I think that changed. But I'm going to read the verse, the Bible verse of why I think this is the way it is. So Paul was writing to the church of the Corinthians, because the church of Corinthians was doing a lot of crazy things. They were baptizing for the dead. They were doing all kinds of wild stuff. And they wanted to know how does the end of the world play out? So Paul was letting them know how it plays out. He said, well, this is how it happens. In a moment and I'm reading right now, in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet, for the trumpet shall blow, and the dead shall be raised up incorruptible, and we shall be changed. Paul says in 1 Corinthians verse 15, or chapter 15, verse 52. And I suggest you read the entire chapter if you want to get written in on this. I wouldn't say for you to read one verse. And I'm not, I'm not hanging my hat on one verse on a belief. I don't do that at all. I would talk the whole chapter. We just don't have time for me to read the entire chapter to you. But if you read into it, and you have, especially if you have an electronic Bible, you can highlight trumpet and say, and just so you know, I'm in the Gideon's 1599 Bible. The King James Version says trump, and then the second sentence says trumpet. And in Gideon, it says trumpet, trumpet 2 times. And it's referring to, if you don't know, you highlight it, and it'll say trumpet. I'm referring to trumpet. I believe COVID-19 was the first seal that opened. If you read the first seal, it lines up exactly with what happened. With a crown and a bow, a conqueror goes around with a crown and a bow to conquer and to conquer. That's all it is. And coronavirus, corona means crown. There's nothing in there on the first seal about a third of the world dying or anything like that. It's just deception with conquering. And I saw that happen. How much time is there till the next one? The next seal is war. And can you argue with me that we're not talking about, we have wars everywhere. Are we not talking about a big war any minute? So who knows? Who knows when that kicks off? But, and I think I said, I have to give Little Season a little bit of a prop, because they believe the whole thing just happened. All this stuff has already happened. So it hasn't. And you're going to miss, like, you've already missed the first seal, right? You don't believe that. If you believe all this stuff happened, you believe this is just a story and we're just deceiving. We're being deceived, I guess, right? But I don't know. I think it is happening. But that is where I'm at with it. I think myself and Elias will talk a little bit more in the coming days, and then he's going to post it on his channel. And I will, when we answer this stuff, and I will, I'll put it in the comment section of the post and let you guys know where the link is, so you guys can go to, when he posts it, you guys can go to his channel and watch it. I don't need to gather views on my channel. Don't need that. We'll give him some love and get some more people over there on his YouTube channel. I think he's got 50,000 and something on Facebook, but his YouTube is 200 or 300. I don't know what's going on over there, but it's not a whole lot. So maybe we can build that up for him and help him out. Because I believe the guy is running with truth. And if I believe you're not running with truth, I'm going to call you out, final experiment. I digress. I will call you out. If you're faking something, I'm going to tell everybody you're faking it. Definitely. Well, I don't really have time I can take a call in. If somebody wants to call in, the link is in the description. You can click on it, let your camera take hold and your microphone take hold. If you want your camera to be used, give me thumbs up in the background, then I'll pull you aboard. if you don't give me thumbs up, I'll just verbally say here on the show, hey, I see your camera. Do you want to mute it or, turn your camera off? And if you turn yours on, I'll turn mine on. I'm not hiding. I will definitely show myself to you. No problem at all. I'm going to hop in the chat room, though, and wait to see if anybody wants to call in, and I will answer questions and comments. I'm going to go to Rumble first, give some love over at Rumble. And there's not much going on over there. We have Blues Girl 65 says, it looks awful and wow. And I think she's talking about the flood in the beginning. That's all that's over there. So I'm going to scroll through here on YouTube and see if there's anything I can answer. And then once I get to the end of that, I will close out the show and tell you what the plans are for the next live stream when I go live again. I don't go live very often anymore, but I do it when I can for you guys, for sure. All right, I am scrolling through the chat room. Let's see what we have here. I thought there was some stuff. Let's see. Cindy said, I stopped listening to that interview on Eyes Open podcast because the guy was pushing the globe and unfortunately was pushing himself instead of our Heavenly Father. Well, I understand that, but you also have to, Cindy, I suggest that you don't just hang up when you hear something you don't like, because it is wise of a man, and when I say man, I mean mankind, that's women and men. It's wise to receive a matter and consider it without embracing it, because you may have hung up and you may have missed something Elias would say profound later, or you might miss something that connects with something else. You know what I mean? Like there's pieces of the puzzle you lose when you just get in the hang up mood. So like think for instance, like I don't agree with JT following JC at all with his little season stuff, but I've had him on here live and I don't have any anger towards him, and I don't hang up when I listen to him talk. I want to hear points of view, and I have learned some stuff on his side, it's totally possible. So I don't suggest you do that. It's not good. All right. So pushing button 62 says, what is gained by this? I think he's talking about the weather event, and we can only speculate, right? I don't get invited to the Wise Eye Shut parties. I don't know what they're trying to gain. I'm reporting that it's happening. I can definitely show you it's happening. If it's sign of the times, there's that, right? All right. Sun, creating climate change, a fear tactic to force 15-minute cities. Yeah, I think we talked about that earlier. All right. Let's see. We're talking about the over 100 churches have been burned or attacked in Canada since COVID. And that's horrible. That's tribulation on its own, right? I mean, that's tribulation. Let's see. How horrible. I don't see a question here. I'm looking. If you guys do have a question, pop it in here. No one's signed in yet, so I will close out pretty soon. Let's see. Sun says the moon was always like sideways, not a smile. I thought, Alice in Wonderland always made the smile. Yeah, right. Cindy says, Mike, have you noticed the size of the full moon is absolutely gigantic? That's a new one. Yeah, it is way bigger than it has been. That is true. All right. One UFC fanatic says, there's something that tracks across the sky every night here in West Michigan. I found it in my telescope, and it looks like flashing colors of electricity, some same path every night, and it's not a star. Well, if you can film that and you can email it into me and I can verify it's a real video, I will put that on here. Awakened Saint awakened _ saint at yahoo.com, awakened _ saint at yahoo.com. Send it to that and I will verify the video is real. And if it is real, I will show it to everybody, and we'll try to get our heads wrapped around it, see what that is. All right. Let's see. There's some thank yous here. Here's a question. Refraction through the firmament. Yep. And I highlighted that comment because Martino Berto got a gold star. I think he figured it out jumped ahead, got me before I did it. All right. It's also called camera obscuring the image copied through the holes and leaves. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Blue Pac-Man 13 says Cheshire Moon was never a part of my reality until 2022. Yeah, well, I noticed it in 2018. That was the first time I've seen it. So it possibly, and it doesn't act like a normal phase in the moon. So Blue Pac-Man, it might have been in your reality when I saw it. You just didn't notice it because it appears one day and then the next day it's gone. It doesn't stay up for 3 or 4 days like a real moon phase. It's very strange, extremely strange. Dinosaur bones equal Nephilim giants. Yeah, I think a lot of the so-called dinosaur bones are Nephilim bones. Absolutely. I'm totally agreeing with that one. All right. Let's see here. What do we got? Pythagorean. It helps if you write it down. Yes, Pythagorean theorem. Absolutely. That's how I figured out how far away the sun is. All right. A fundamental mathematical rule for right triangles stating that the square of the hypotenuse, the longest side, C, is equal to the sum of the squares at the other sides. Yes, absolutely, because that right here is how that played out. So if you look at this picture, or this one even better, right? You have a straight up and down. You have the distance from the base to the base, and then the angle. And knowing, if you know the height of one and the distance from the bottom one to the other one, you can run the hypotenuse and find out where those two. It's almost like getting a intersection through a radio. You can figure out where the light's coming from, the actual distance down to the foot, really. I mean, I came up with 55 miles, but I mean, you can get it down to the gnat's butt. Like you could get it really close. I believe it at that. And I don't think the sun stays at a solid distance. I think it varies from 50 miles to 55. I don't think it's always exactly at the same height. I don't know. I didn't go through the 1%er schooling. You know, the kids going through the billionaire schooling, they probably all could tell us all about that. All right. Yeah. Try to video that. I would appreciate that and send it into weekend_saint@yahoo.com. All right. Undoctrinated. All right. That's good. The Cheshire cat does not say we're all mad here anymore. He says mostly everyone. Yeah, that's a Mandela effect. Yeah. That's the world we live in. Things are different. All right. Magnum says, dang, missed the live. We'll catch the replay. Yes, you should. This is a good one. If I don't say so myself, it's a pretty good one. Okay, so there's that. And I'm going to get rid of you guys. The email's here. So when it posts, you could pause it and you'll have the email. No one's called in. So what is the plans? What are we doing next? So there are plans. There are some plans going on. I did an interview not too long ago with Beth, and that was done. I don't even remember when I did it. It was the beginning of the month. It's going to post October 26th. The topic is Isaiah 11:6 because she does a live stream. I believe her name is Beth Fisher, and she is on YouTube. Let me see if I have her YouTube channel. Let me see. I'm looking for it in the background. I'm stalling. I'm trying to scroll in the background to find this thing because I know I'm subscribed to her because I wanted to see. Yeah, Beth Fisher. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put her link in the chat room so you guys can see this channel right here. Oh, that's big doing it that way. Maybe I'll do it a different way. This right here. I don't know if you can catch all that. That's Beth Fisher's YouTube channel. That will get you to her channel. Let me try it a different way. I'm going to try making a banner for you. Maybe that'll come out clearer. Do it that way. So if you subscribe to that, all that stuff right there, if you subscribe to that, Beth Fisher she's reading the Bible, the entire Bible. She has this Bible thing. And then at the end of each book, she does an interview with somebody that she considers, I guess, a subject matter expert on that particular topic of the Bible. And Isaiah came up because her group read Isaiah 11:6, which is my thing, the lion and the lamb. So, if I get rid of the solo thing, you can see I have a lion and there's a lion with a lamb as the chin there. And it says Revelation, my little thing's covering up the Revelation, but that's my logo, So I went and I interviewed at the beginning of the month with her, and it's supposed to post October 26th. So subscribe to her, and I will also I'll share it on my channel since I'm completely on it. And then you know, and I really would advise you to subscribe to her. I think she's only at 400 or something over there. So give her some love and give her some support. So I had that going on. Eyes Open channel, Eyes Open podcast, and he's on YouTube as well. But we're gonna do a recording coming up on the 21st, sometime in the evening, and I don't know when he's gonna post it because he's gonna kind of put it together with this Dr. Havind interview that he did, and so that's gonna post sometime. Don't really know, sometime in November, I would assume, maybe sooner. But also let you guys know in the post here on my channel when that is. And I prefer that you watch it over on his channel, on his YouTube channel, because he has less subscribers than I do. So I think he should do that for him. And what else? I plan, unless the world blows up or something big happens, I plan to do another live stream at the beginning of November will be the next one, unfortunately. So I'm a pilot, and I prefer my family over, you guys are my family, but I have an actual family. I'm married, and I have children. They're grown up, but they're still mine, and they still need my love. And as a pilot, I spend half my month away. So I try to not do YouTube while I'm home. I try to spend 100% of the time with my family, and I will be doing that unless something comes up. When I double retire and I'm not doing anything and I'm home, I'll be doing live streams all the time, because this is how I glorify God, and this is how I share what I'm finding out with you guys. And with these contacts all around the world, I get this information so quickly, and it would be a crime for me to just sit on stuff and keep it for myself. So I help you guys out, and I let you know. And you guys email me, and you also help out as well. And yeah, that's it. I think there's nothing else. No one's called in. So my final thoughts, as always, Jesus is the truth, the way, and the life. No one goes to the Father. He's not my truth. He's not your truth. He's the truth. Yahusha is the truth. There isn't any other truth. Literally, that's it. If you accept his forgiveness, you will find salvation. If you love the truth, you love the element that created him. If you live in lies, or you live a lie or support lies, you're the opposite of him. And that's just a fact. These are facts. So seek the truth. The truth shall set you free. God willing, I will see you on here in a few weeks.
Your zeal blinds you to the truth. The New Jerusalem will not be built by murder and uprisings. The wisdom of God will fill the land as water fills the sea. The lion will lie down with the lamb. There'll be no more killing or destroying. And the voice of weeping shall be heard no more.